But we have to see if Hurricane Gaming get that poke off you talked about, where they can continue playing footsies. Clement, who's going to get their first game win, man? Because the other team sits down below as Impunity broke their curse last game. Now it's up to SEM9 and Hurricane Gaming to do the same.
I know I said Hurricane, but after the draft, I'm switching camps. I feel like S9 have a much easier composition to execute. They just sit in front of a tower, and if Hurricane try to triple dive, you just press one button, and you reset the entire fight. It's actually much easier to do on SEM9's side than it is on Hurricane Gaming's side to blow someone up. Now, that being said, the laning phase is probably what is going to decide this game, if we're being completely honest here. So far, SEM9 has not shown a lot of potential in the laning phase. ClayX is doing 21% of the team's damage. He just has not had a single game where he has been allowed to, get smoothly to his 3 items and showcase his team fighting prowess. So, as much as I like the comp from SEM9, the big thing here is that they still have to survive Bang2 and Enhao.
Survive that laning phase. I like it. Bang2 and Enhao is... we're going to be watching for that Ezreal poke, because this was rotation 1 and 2. I mean, Clement, this was an interesting first rotation on red side. I don't think we see this really in any region. Ezreal right now, definitely like an A- tier. When we get past things like Aphelios, Jinx, Zeri, I've even seen like Samira, Jin looked at. Even, Caitlyn. I'm stuck in 12.2, apologies, but like Ezreal is definitely something we don't see too much of anymore. I think Viper's the only person on EDG who's really looking at it as a serious priority.
Yeah, we do see it sometimes when people are going against the Aphelios who just don't want to get in range with the hyper carries and try to outpoke them. But usually it is comboed out with a lot of different poke options. You have a relatively slow game. You are a tier builder as well. So it's, trying to poke without lane priority is always, in my book, kind of a losing strategy to start off with. So we'll see how they play this lane. There's definitely potential for them. A couple mystic shots and you can swing the lane into your favor. It usually doesn't happen. Usually what we see is much more akin to what we're seeing here from PlayX, is you do get just shoved in earlier on.
Very early on, yeah. I mean, this is nice, though. Damage down already onto the turret. Let's talk about jungle pathing here, because both junglers heading down towards that bottom side. You did talk about Hurricane Gaming having a need to focus on this lane. It's good to see that Aliao is down there ready to contest the scuttle and potentially punish ClayX and Felia for being too deep.
Yeah, and we are going to get a game pause, but so far, looking across the lanes, this game is it's much commoner for like a game like this. It's much more usual for a game like this to have pauses, because we do have SEM9 connecting from Malaysia. You have connections from mainland China and from Taipei.
Dude,
so
we've had a pause almost every game tonight. It's crazy to me.
And you're also connecting from Australia. It's probably your fault.
It is actually my fault. Apparently, the funny thing is you blamed me for disconnecting before. However, I look at a Discord, I'm actually on your ping. So I think it's a load of rubbish with what you're saying before. I don't think that was my internet whatsoever. I am on good Aussie broadband at the moment as we welcome you back into the game. Our pause has more been very slow. Very small, I should say. And Hua Clement, I'm going to need some pronunciation help. Enhao. Thank you so much. I'm getting there, folks. I'm getting there. So, Enhao is going to go for the all-in, but gets traded back. Arashi now with the bottom side Scuttle Crab, and Aliao is just heading up towards the top side to get the other one as a response. He'll be spotted out on a minion, so full information given over to SEM9.
Should still be fine right here. I expect him to take the scuttle without much trouble. A lot of help coming in from his top lane if he really needs it. I see you so far having a good time in the lane. And I just want to say, I like how you said good Australian broadband. Like, that is something that really exists. I've never heard of it.
Dude, I'm almost at 1 gigabyte download speed. That's huge. It's fairly good engaged. It's amazing for what it is. Bang2, Arcane shifted for that one, Clement. I don't know if you saw it. Felia with a really good punish in the laning phase. It's bullying around this Ezreal Leona.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Ezreal first pick. It's so weird. Like, I would really want to know the strategy behind this one, especially when they didn't really follow up the pick with something like a Quirky coming in either. So we'll see how this ends up, but for now, he's just expected to kind of bleed out in lane. And in this meta, it's actually very difficult to come out of a losing bottom lane. Top lane's not going to be there. You can choose to go to Herald faster. So very rarely do we see people willing to play a lane that is almost going to auto-lose. Oh, priority.
Speaking of losing, Philia might be in trouble here. A flash available, W out with the flash over the wall. Aliao with perfect timing as Philia just with a greedy back position in River.
Yeah, didn't really need to do that there, and his AD carry wasn't there either, so he definitely could have picked a much safer position, and that will potentially swing the game in favor of Hurricane Gaming, especially in the bottom side. In the meantime, I want to see, as ICU is about to hit level 6, whether he can find some potential on Shiromine here. Shiromine is coming in with a very interesting build. We really haven't seen phase rushes come in from the Gragas, so I wonder what he is gonna do with this one. Usually, you know, it's just the grass for the extra HP, but with the extra movement speed, perhaps it's a team fight build. I don't know. We'll find out.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't seen like a Night Harvester for a while. Even the Proto Belt's kind of crazy. So I don't know. I'm open for anything here. Both teams looking for their first win, as we talked about before. And whatever gets you the win at the end of the day. Arashi down the bottom side, Clement. Starting this Dragon in Fog of War. Absolutely no vision from Hurricane Gaming. So opening up the map here for S9. And that's a nice objective to start the game, especially when you said that laning phase is what they need to get through. Right now, surviving fine. Wait, flag and drag, never mind. Shockwave comes through. Aliao can't get the steal. In fact, the turn. First blood over to SEM9. Not only are they surviving the laning phase, Clement, they're winning it.
Beautiful flash from Arashi as well. He gets the knockup before Alio can even respond with his own flash. Secures the kill and the Drake in the meantime. So SEM9 once again getting up to a good lead. Something we haven't seen before. We're going to watch this one again. Hurricane Gaming are very late to the play, but they want to chance that smite steal. It doesn't go on for them. And Arashi with a very short flash, but a very good one.
Yeah. Again, the knock up on the 3 Talon strike you pointed out. Beautiful to watch. Aliao goes down. Dragon not stolen. And the CS differential in jungle is building up. A 1k gold lead here for SEM9 in this game. And importantly enough, getting the Dragon on top sets up for very good news. As Chaos Storm from Tiacha in the mid lane trying to push this wave. It is actually a massive wave as well. And Lazar's already burned the TP, so he has to walk back to this one. It's a cannon wave, though, with first melee minion getting hit at the wave. Clement, I don't think he only loses 2 minions.
Yeah, it's always, it kind of hurts my soul when you don't see the cannon being taken up, but it's fine. We see this play from Victor's quite often, just trying to shove the lane in, get a couple more CS advantage, and we do have Hurricane Gaming now setting up a very strong position on the Herald. However, my question here is, they have 0 priority in the bot lane, so it really gives SEM9 the option whether they want to contest or if they want to just continue getting plates here into the bottom side. Whatever they choose, it's actually, I think it's pretty fine for either one. If Hurricane do get the Herald, I think the only real place they can drop it is probably top lane for ICU.
Which has been a focus in previous games. You were talking to me about ICU being a really big source of carry for Hurricane Gaming. Let's also remember he has the highest damage source, I believe, on the team, because I was looking through the stats a bit before. 30.7%, Clement, is quite big for a top laner in this meta. And Hurricane Gaming going to be starting this one, but Arashi wants to contest. Shiromine with the ulti as well. Chaos Storm's not available would be the only thing I'd be concerned about. And it looks like with Playax not coming up as well and sitting time on the turret.
Oh, super mega death rocket. Yep. Doesn't really find anything right there. And I think this is a pretty measured play from SEM9. They know exactly what they want to get. Just want to make sure Playax gets as far ahead as possible. It's cutting the minion wave early. And like we expected, Hurricane Gaming, they do want to accelerate. Oh, actually, sorry, they're not trying to go for ICU here. Actually funneling gold into the Ezreal. Huh.
Yeah. They're swapping lanes.
Yeah.
ICU comes to the bottom lane while Clayex is still getting turret plating. Now, ICU just getting rocketed a little bit down here at the bottom lane, but Clement, thoughts on the play when it's still so early on, switching the bottom lane consistently, staying in this path?
Yeah, this is... I think it's interesting because what they're doing is they're throwing away the lead that they had on ICU, and it means that they're not going to get a chance to play a 4-1, which I assumed would be one of their outs in this situation. The swap took a lot of time there. Like that was 3 plates for 3 plates, and Herald's already expended. And I don't really like the gold distribution on Ezreal earlier. It still takes so long for him to actually be relevant in this fight. I would have much rather have Gwen get the gold and have that opportunity to be a good skirmisher in the mid game. Ezreal building his tier, he's still very far away from contributing meaningful damage at this point. So a bit peculiar. I'm not a huge fan of this. And if you look at the swap right now, they're still swapping back. So it means that Ezreal, when he comes back to lane, he's still going to get suppressed.
That's true.
Yeah.
And more importantly, the fact is SEM9 still made a better gold trade after the Herald.
True.
Like, Arashi was able to go through and clear the rest of his jungle. He stays 15 CS up as Clayex is about to get ganked here by Enha. On the backside, Hal's in right away. Clayex flashes. Cleanse is there, but true shot barrage. Maybe it works out in the end with Bang 2 getting himself his first kill.
Yeah, way too greedy from Clayex. I don't know why he didn't back here. He definitely missed that tempo. He should have done it back and then came back to lane. Aliel playing interference. Nothing more, I guess, from this fight.
Actually, I think he's in trouble. Charmed up, burning down the flash. Felia gets it. And How is now crescent guarded away as Bang 2 is on the escape path. Super Mega Death Rocket is close as Felia once again showing us that Rakans and the PCS are built different.
Yeah, Arashi with a good find there as well. Once again, just following up so nicely with the flash on Alio, making sure he drops down the target. And Hurricane Gaming are not able to extend their lead even after picking up the AD carry. A bit of a, kind of a back and forth in the bottom lane here. But SEM9 do come out ahead, and they continue to stack this Drake, which will be, let's see what the soul is going to be here. Ocean's pretty nice.
Okay. Replay, Clement, you're up.
Yeah, so this play, for me, Alio didn't really need to chase forward, and Arashi just kind of comes out from beneath the corner to find the kill. Once again, a flash kind of used needlessly here. Arashi gets a beautiful kill, and this is kind of Arashi just playing this game like a first-person shooter. He's just trying to wallbang everyone, and it's very successful. I love these small mechanical outplays coming in from Arashi to get his team the lead.
Feels like jungle diff is starting to build up this game. We've got a 1k gold lead still there for SEM9. You did talk about the weakness, and I guess let's put it in proper terms. SEM9's strength in this game would be through mid, would be through jungle now. Mid's going about 10 CS under right now, but the difference in jungle's so obvious from the little micro outplays you've been talking about all game, Clement. So Arashi really holding this one strong here for SEM9. Both teams looking for their first win, and I feel like it could come off the back of a jungle. However, Bang 2 before that was able to pick up a kill on the bottom side. So we talked about the good news for SEM9. Let's talk about Hurricane Gaming a bit here, Clement. Bang 2 is a big condition of this composition, how the poke comes off. It is an Essence Reaver. Ezreal. Is Enhao going to die? Quickness, follow-up. The answer
is yes.
Absolute yes. He's not getting out of this. Lazar gets it as well, which is a big deal considering that he was behind 10 CS in the mid lane.
Yeah, this is my problem with the whole swaps that Hurricane Gaming tried to pull off. Is, even with the extra gold on Ezreal, you don't change the laning state at all. Like, you get pushed in, and that just means that Enhao has to take some rather risky routes. To be fair, he didn't have to take that route. He could have walked from his own ramp down, and that would have been a lot safer. But overall, it is a support solo mission when you don't have priority in the bot lane. And now ICU is the one in trouble. See the tank.
Sure, mine uses the ulti. Not really expecting the hallowed mist. And ICU will help get the turret with Aliao up in the top side. Gold still the trade, though, because first turret blood went over to SEM9 bot and went directly to Clayex, who's just picked up the Gale Force and a Cloak of Agility on top of that. Clement, before we saw that play, I was talking about the Essence Reaver build here for Bang 2. He's being matched, though, in damage, and when we know what Ezreal does in the early game versus what Clayex does with this one item, right now I know that I'm pretty happy with how SEM9's carry is.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of different iterations of Ezreal builds. The Crown of the Shattered Queen has been the one that we've seen in the PCS, but also, you have the LWX build with the Dustblade of Drakthar, just trying to put as much damage as possible. I knew he got heavily criticized in that game for it, but I'm just like, man, if damage is all you want to do, That's not a terrible choice. Sure, it doesn't scale that well, but hey, you're an Ezreal, and sometimes you got to make a decision. Hurricane Gaming, though, setting up for a really good team fight.
Teleport play coming in, the quickness burned as well. They're onto the jungle, the shockwave only onto one, but they want to take him down. Cataclysm in the middle, but Arashi going forward. Ooh. Not good though, because ICU hitting free until Gragas gets in the play, but Clayx is on the wing, untouched. And Hal has to watch out. I mean, Clayx is still untouched. Getting excited, running after Bang 2 has to flash away. Clay's almost got his summoners available, but they just left SEM9's AD carry to have a field day.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good start from Hurricane Gaming. Even though Alio went down first, he covered the ramp with the Cataclysm. There was tons of damage being thrown down by Chacha's Chaos Storm, but I feel like Hurricane Gaming over-chased after they got the initial damage. Like you were mentioning that entire flight, Clayx just completely untouched in this one. Hurricane Gaming, unfortunately for Alio, I don't think he was able to land an EQ combo right here. Felia actually able to walk out of it. Really good reaction coming in from that part. The Shockwave only lands on one, and the Cataclysm does come out. So at this point in the game, it does feel actually pretty strong for Hurricane Gaming, but the problem is, you know, after that kill, Enhao really didn't need to chase a Rakan. I felt like that was a bit weird to see from that position. They could have played that a lot slower and kind of continued to poke with the Ezreal and the Victor there, but going in, it just turned the tides towards SEM9.
And you can see Cha-Cha did the most damage in that last fight. Clement, in that replay, I just watched the Chaos Storm inside the Cataclysm on 3 people tick away. So, you know, SEM9 sticking around a bit longer than they need to be, but then you could say the same about Hurricane Gaming. We saw a fight in front of the top side Rift Herald. Herald not taken. Clement Dragons coming up, though, and SEM9 already have 2. Lazar's up in this top lane hitting the turret, but he has teleport. He's got the shockwave again, and it looks like SEM9 are set up in River too, so they've got all the eggs in multiple baskets.
Yeah, this is absolutely beautiful, just macro coming in from SEM9. They do a staggered recall with Clayx staying on the board right here. They get the best of both worlds. And I do think Hurricane Gaming, if they want to pull this off, they have to act quickly and just use that teleport timing. Teleport it's past 14 minutes, but that was a very timid teleport coming in.
I guess wants to be with the rest of the team. For SEM9, they're coming to this one a little bit late. They lost priority in the river. Hurricane Gaming want to disturb the flow of dragons as ICU's right in the middle of the pit, but Dragon resets a little bit, slows it down, and I'm looking for that Bang 2 poke that you talked about, Clement, to come through as Dragon comes through, but it's stolen. Arashi comes in, sets them up for Soul Point. The Cataclysm in the middle of the pit, though, doing a lot of work now. Felia, the next target, as Hurricane Gaming are running front to back with the rest of this one. Clay goes away, but he can't even take Enhao with him. It's a full-blown ace with 5 members alive.
I feel like SEM9 didn't really get the memo. Arashi was going in just to keep their Drake stacking alive, but the rest of the team, they didn't really have to follow. They didn't need to go all in as well. And they charged headfirst into ICU, which sent them into the ICU. That's just 4 dead. Very easy follow-up by the Gwen. Scissors flying everywhere, and that's going to be a Herald to boot.
Yeah, it is. Herald, Goldly now back in their favor. Soul Point acquired, but you're right. Not worth the full-blown ace and the 4 kills that Bang 2 now has. You were talking about this comp being tiptoe, but you know what? If SEM9 do that, you literally wear the loudest boots you want.
Yeah, we were talking about it easy for SEM9 to execute if they play counter engage. They have very easy buttons to press to just wipe away the triple dive potential from Hurricane Gaming. That doesn't exist when you go headfirst into the pit right there. It was a great play from Arashi, but from everyone else, it was just so weird. Lazar hits absolutely nobody. Maybe attacks Enhao, but that's it. And then ICU gets free targets of his choosing in his own haloed miss, with Clayx not even close to the target. So I just feel like that was miscommunication. Arashi goes in, the rest of the team has to back up.
Yeah. So SEM9 dealing a little bit with the repercussions of the fight. 3k damage from ICU. What more do you expect? But Clement, you know, that was a mistake. But I will still say SEM9 have, you know, good options in this game despite giving away all those kills. Considering the fact that the next dragon is a fight yet again in 3 minutes time. Baron up in 50 seconds as well. They give over a bit of control, but Arashi, okay, as I was saying that, now he's caught out. Crescent Guard, perfect timing as Cataclysm comes down, but Bang 2 just destroys him. And SEM9 kind of throwing the ball to the chain.
Yeah, not much that Arashi could do without Flash right there, and Hurricane Gaming is going to get their pick of the litter here with the Herald being thrown down. I do want to see them just force feed ICU a little bit, but I guess their mentality with the team is that ICU is such a good player that he's going to get fed no matter what. We might as well funnel resources into Bangs. I kind of get that feel from Hurricane Gaming, just judging by their macro here. Overall, just great play all along the board, and just that one death is snowballing into 2 towers, and we see out of thin air, Hurricane Gaming. This is a massive gold swing. They were down by 1K, and now they're up by 4. So overall, that play was a 5,000 gold difference.
From the Dragon Pit to your right, the Arashi pick as well. 4 turrets to 2, 20 minutes into the game. And I'm going to start counting items because Chacha's going to be on his second. We've just got a Wit's End that was picked up in the top lane here. Sorry, Nash's Tooth, excuse me. And a Crown of the Shattered Queen coming through once again here for the Ezreals of the PCS. So 3 item 80 carry versus ClayX, who was just able to pick up the rapid fire cannon. An item discrepancy's built up, Clement. And now I want you to tell me what you do from here, because it looks like Hurricane Gaming controlling vision and trying to threaten a Baron bait.
Yeah, at this point, I do think the dynamics shift quite a bit. Hurricane Gaming have the 4-run potential. You have to send someone to deal with this Gwen. She's very far ahead of Shiromine at this point. And it isn't easy to get an engage from SEM9's perspective either. So I feel like they just have to wait for a big objective fight and see if they can get maximum value out of that Shockwave. A huge part of their loss in the previous fight was Lazar's Shockwave was just not very good. It wasn't on Arashi. It was kind of in the middle of nowhere. And, that really doomed all the counter engage. Gwen gets free access to your entire back line and such and such. So right now, SEM9, they can't really deal with split push. I feel like it's all down to the Dragon Soul plan here.
Okay, well, 30 seconds. That Soul comes up, leaving it all up to that Shockwave. A big task for Lazar. He's had a pretty hard day. And I think Lazar's been someone who has constantly been banged up in lane. The amount of times I've watched him get bullied around by Syndras is way too many. This time around, by Chacha here on the Victor, and even throughout the team fight as they go for the engage, Arashi walks into it. There's a Shockwave again, only onto the jungler, but they found him. But look at the backline, ICU with a huge flank with the Chaos Storm. It doesn't matter if your jungler goes down. The intensive care unit returns to ruin your day again.
Oh my god, ICU just shows up out of nowhere. You can see the shock on SEM9's face. They're like, yes, this is a 5v4. We got one champion. And then ICU just cuts through all of their hopes and dreams. That's going to be the Drake going over to Hurricane Gaming. The Dragon Stack game plan is going to be very much delayed.
I feel like this game is going to be so far gone if Hurricane Gaming keep getting given the opportunities. Clement, they use everything on Aliao, and look at the massive long con flank.
Yeah, and also a huge part of this play was Felia was just not in position. He actually went forward. There was no follow-up from the bottom side, and I just want to see how much damage ICU did in that fight. That's absolutely ridiculous. He got at least like a 4-man ult down, so's everyone. And Bang2 now is already going very close to Legendary. He's got like...
Oh, no. He can't. That's just a horrible mistake. Clement, 6k damage, by the way. There's your answer. More importantly, if that wasn't already the game before at the Dragon fight, I think ClayX backing there has pretty much just sealed the deal.
Yeah, that's Baron gone for sure. ICU did more damage than the entire enemy team just by himself in that fight. Absolutely great performance from the Gwen.
Okay, Baron down. The way it looks like it's going to end, the Solar Flare comes through. No! Oh. The ultimate sets up for the center plate, and Hal might go down, and even with the shockwave through, it doesn't matter because ICU's been given time again. The needlework slows down Lazar, who wishes he wasn't here. And Hurricane Gaming on the verge of finding their first game win in the PCS. Couldn't look more promising.
That was such a clean play from Enhao, actually using the explosive cast to gain distance on the enemy and make sure that engage goes through. Sure, he falls down, but he trades 1 for 2 while his team has Baron. That means free reign on the map to take down a lot more gold here, and Hurricane Gaming are nearing that 10,000 gold eclipse.
SEM9 just can't get a break here today, Clement. Playing 2 games a day to realign their schedule. And against Hurricane Gaming, who, you know, along with SEM9, we're thinking they're the bottom teams in the PCS. It looks like there's a bit of a difference here. Like, shot calling a big issue and a big mistake from the 80 carry that leads to another fight coming through.
Oh, just watch this play again. This is Chef Kiss. This is so beautiful from N-How. Making sure that he gets the lockdown. That's exactly what a support should do. They should completely disregard their own life and just make sure that the team can find the kills.
That's right. That's a good support, Clement. Ezreal as well, Bang 2 doing quite a lot of damage himself. And the fact is, the support players like Aliao and How are doing a lot in this roster. ICU is my MVP straight out of the bat, Clement Chu. There's no way anyone else is going to get it here. I don't care about Bang 2's score. ICU with deadly flanks, with great positioning. This game has been a lot about him, and it's no wonder you talked about him being a star on this roster. Giving him Gwen, a very big deal.
Aliao just trying to bait the enemy team. He has vision. But unfortunately, SEM9 is not going to bite for them, and Hurricane Gaming do the correct macro play. They get the inside track directly onto the inhibitor tower, and I think it's just gone.
Yep, Bang 2 does quite a lot of damage to it as Hurricane Gaming grouping up as a 4-man unit. Look at ICU on the side lane. SEM9 have to pick somewhere as inhibitor down mid goes through, and they decide it's bottom lane time. But look, Hurricane Gaming want to end it all here for their first win. In under 30 minutes, no doubt, would be huge, but playing it safe for now. 10k gold lead, that ulti, still as deadly as I last saw it. And a bit of a masterclass now put on here against the other bottom tier team.
Yeah, I don't really see what SEM9 can do at this point. They really need a great quickness into good crowd control, and they have to keep constant attention to where ICU is coming as he goes in from the flank.
Shockwave's good, but Gwen's untouched. 4-man needlework again. It doesn't matter. ICU is playing with his food. I tell you what, a 5-course meal's been given to him today. As Hurricane Gaming, Clement, they've got Lazar once more, and now they want a barrel to finish it off.
Nothing to stop them in their sights. They're going for that first win. In they go.
Once more, ICU just runs into melee range. Now they've lost a couple of members. Hurricane Gaming. Chia gets low, but ICU is hitting around as Bang 2 flushes in for it. And Hurricane Gaming, winless no more. They'll end that curse, much like Impunity. And SEM9 will sink to the bottom of the PCS.
Oh, that was the perfect situation.